So in this segment, we're going to be talking about how the media are trying to spin these traffic jams and trying to downplay them a bit and act like, oh, these new EU biometric checks are going to cause a disaster. Ones are going to be implemented in September, when we're already seeing queues now. So the spin from ITV here is very shocking, should I say. So let's have a look.
On the A20 outside Dover, lorries wait to board the ferry. Brexit did not cause gridlock, but it has slowed things down at the board ferry.
What do you call this? If this is not gridlock, you're talking 9-kilometre queues. If this isn't gridlock, what is this? Because this isn't slowed down. This isn't normal. That's a massive queue. Look how big this thing is. You can't even see the end.
Brexit did not cause gridlock, but it has.
What is this if it's not gridlock?
Slowed things down at the.
Look, half these aren't even moving. It's literally just these. Look, you got two that are moving.
Border queuing is more commonplace, and the delays may soon get worse.
This is the French border, so the first people that you come to is police off frontière.
The chief executive of Port of Dover is worried. He's building extra check-in booths to keep traffic flowing, but in September the EU introduces yet more change.
New biometric equipment and operational measures will soon be mandatory.
All non-EU travellers will have to carry out facial recognition and fingerprint checks when entering or exiting the EU. But Dover warns people will have to leave their vehicles to do this, and the resulting delays will clog up the port at busy times.
This is, again, it's up to the EU to do this. If this is what they want to do, then fine. If they want to do biometric checks, fine. That's up to them. They control their own borders. This is what the UK said, take back control, and now the EU are taking too much control, apparently. We're angry again at the EU for taking back control of their borders, honestly. And the argument there that there's no, it's just slowed down, there's no gridlock, it's just ludicrous. When you look at a picture like this, how is this not gridlock? It's looking like Tetris out here.
Delays will clog up the port at busy times.
It works great at airports where you have single passengers presenting themselves one at a time in an orderly fashion in a nice well-lit hall. Where it doesn't work here is there's no process, no technology, no design for a carload of passengers transiting a busy ferry terminal on a dark, stormy night. It just does not exist.
The operator of Eurotunnel also believes the new entry-exit system will cause disruption at the border. Between them,
there's disruption now, buddy, because the GVMS system mostly. What's this guy on?
Channel Tunnel and the Port of Dover carry more than 30 million passengers a year. They also account for just over £260 billion of trade. 59% of all trade in goods between the UK and the EU passes across the short straits.
Shock.
Right out there is the world's busiest shipping lane.
With 9 months to go, MPs on the Transport Select Committee are concerned there's no solution in sight. Port of Dover calculates the biometric checks will add at least 2 minutes to the time it takes to clear the border.
Even a 2-minute additional time to process a driver or a passenger on a coach through the immigration system adds miles of traffic jams backing up through Kent.
We have to rely on the French to assist us here as well. It will cause as much damage over in Calais as it will here in the Port of Dover.
And that's up to France. Each EU member state is responsible. They have the choice of how to carry out these checks. Yes, it's going to cause delays on the Calais side, but I guarantee you this, right? The border checks on Calais will most likely be a lot smoother than the ones on the UK side, considering we're the ones actually causing a lot of the problems we're facing now. And Hugh Mayor, I don't know if he's a Tory, might say here.
It's also really important that
doesn't say, but at the end of the day, we voted to be a third country. The EU can choose to do what it wants. If it wants to add biometric checks, it can do that. We can't stop them.
we work with the French. We've had far too many issues where we've been finding reasons to fall out with the French.
The European...
Yes, yeah, we have. Been constantly scrapping with the French for no reason, over fishing licenses when we shouldn't have. It's a joke, honestly. And, now when you need good relations, now when you need the French to really help us out here, what do you think Macron's going to say in an election year? No.
Union says that individual member states will decide how biometric checks are implemented. In a statement, the government told us the UK is continuing to engage with our European partners at an operational level to ensure our respective border arrangements work and interact as well as possible. Almost 2 years after the UK officially left the EU, another consequence of Brexit is
It's almost 1 year, really.
heading towards us. Holidaymakers and companies on both sides of the channel will be hoping that problems can be resolved. John Hills, News at 10.
You know, the fact is, like, this guy is talking about how, you know, it's just caused delays, it's not caused gridlock. Like, what is this if this isn't gridlock? Like, bro, like, I've never seen lorry queues like this in my life. You know, I live in the Midlands, but, you know, so it makes sense. But, like, is this normal? If you live in Kent, like, have you seen stuff like this pre-Brexit? It's madness. Absolute madness. And you go, you know, the kind of UK's kind of traffic protocol has been used 10 times in the last 21 days to help with overflow. And you've got Michael M saying 9 kilometre growing queue at the moment. Anything on your TV over there? Whoops, didn't want to open that. Point being is that, like, it's already at 9 kilometres, which, you know, for us in the UK is, oops, 5 miles. 5 mile queues already. You know, and this guy on ITV is trying to spin it as, oh yeah, you know, this is not gridlock, this is normal. Like, what? This is wild. You know, at the end of September, this is before these biometric checks have even taken place. You know, in the UK aren't afraid now. We're saying, like, oh, you know, this is fine. You know, our 5 mile queue is normal, you know, but if they start adding more to the queues with this biometric checks, yeah, that's going to be a real problem. It does mention, let's see, you know, and most of this is down to the GVMS system. You know, the British haulier said it was taking 15 to 20 minutes for each driver to clear checks needed for the UK government's new goods vehicle movement system, GVMS, which works on both sides of the border. You know, and other export paperwork at Dover. So these are trucks moving out. It's very confusing. So I'm going to go through this article in a separate video. Point being is, because of the fact the GVMS system works on both sides of the border, it makes it very hard, because I was of the assumption that if there were long queues in Kent, that would be, you know, an issue on the French side, something on the French side causing issues. But if there was an issue in Calais, it'd be an issue on the UK side. However, that was evidently overly simplistic and wrong. The fact is that the GVMS system, by the looks of it, is causing issues on both sides of the border, especially when a viewer actually pointed out to me, like, look at it this way. The French started doing import checks last year, right? There were delays, they're all gone now. So how can it be that for exporting lorries going from Dover to Calais, how can there be a problem now? There'd be something else that's caused this problem, because the French haven't actually ramped up checks on their side. That means there's a problem in the UK. It's the GVMS system, by the looks of it. That looks to be the case. But I'm going to go through this article separately, because I think this one is slightly better. But because they conflate import and export checks, and, you know, they don't explain the GVMS system properly, it causes, you know, confusion. Especially me, I was very confused before my friend kind of explained it to me. I'm very grateful to him for that. So what we'll do is we'll stop the video here. Absolute joker talking about 5 mile queues not being a problem. I mean, my God, man. You know, this person here has been trapped in a 15 kilometre queue, which is incredibly long. You're talking 9 mile queues already. And, you know, if you live in Kent and you're worried by this stuff, you voted predominantly Tory, start talking to them, because you guys are electing people like Helen Whatley. Why are you doing this? Has the nation not suffered enough without people like Helen Whatley, Damien Green? I'm sure there's a list of other people who are absolute scumbags in this list. Tom Tugendhat. I'm sure he's another one, I remember his name. But yeah, please stop electing these clowns. But yeah, enjoy your traffic, people of Kent. And yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one.